This lesson is 2.7. It is on multiplying using partial products. So partial, just a part of the product, and the product is the answer when we multiply. Perfect. So we know all of these parts here. So for number 2, it says estimate. I know that 640 is closer to 600 or 700? 600. 600, good. So let me change my color. There we go. I'm going to say 600 times 3. Okay, so here we're just finding the basic fact, right? What's the basic fact? Which two numbers? 6 times 3. What is 6 times 3? 18. So find the basic fact and we multiply. Count the zeros and place them close by. So already we have our estimate, which is what, everybody? 1,800. Perfect. 1,800. Now we just have to check to make sure we got it right. So here you'll see that they did it just a little bit different. So we're just going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to multiply 3 times 600. Okay, we've already figured that out. It's what? 3 times 600? 1,800. Okay, now we're going to do 3 times 40. 3 times 40 is what? Find the basic fact and you multiply. 3 times 4 is what? 12. And count the 0 and place it close by. So we have 12 and 1 0, right? Okay, now we're just going to do 3 times 0. What's 3 times 0, everybody? 0. And then we just add those. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is what? 0. Perfect. 0 plus 2 is what? 2. 8 plus 1 is what? 9. And 1 plus nothing is? 1. That is your answer, 1,920. Okay, so if you needed to break it out, could you let's do number 3 now, and let's go ahead and do our estimate. 149. Ooh, what is that closer to, 100 or 200? 100, but by just 1, huh? Could you say maybe 150 if you were estimating to get even closer? Could you do that? You could. We're just going to go ahead and do with 100. 100 times 5, right? 100 times 5 is what? What is it? 500. So we write our estimate up here. Okay, now we're doing 5 times 100. If you want to just write it out and that's easier, we can do that. So 100 times 5 is what? 500. Okay, now let's do 5 times 40. What is 5 times 40? It is 200, because 5 times 4 is our basic fact, and that's 20. And count the 0, which is 1, and put it close by. Okay, now we're just going to do 5 times 9 now. 5 times 9 is what? 45, and now we just add those. So 0 plus 0 plus 5 is what? 5. 0 plus 0 plus 4 is what? 5 plus 2 is what? 7. Your answer is 745. So if it helps you, I think it probably will, to actually just write it out like that. That's what I would do if I were you, and that will help you get the correct answer. Just make sure you're lining it all up. It's the same process through all of these right here. Okay, let's just look at number 14. We can do that one together. It's a word problem, so we should do what? Cube, right. Okay, so let's read it together. Ready? Go. Pedro gets 8 hours of sleep each night. How many hours does Pedro sleep in a year with 365 days? Okay, so we're going to do 365. I'll write it up here. Times what? What? 8, good. Do you actually have to show your work on this? Yes. Absolutely you do. Okay, so now we're just going to do 8 times, the 3 is in what place? 100. Yeah, so we're doing 3 times 100, so, or I'm sorry, 8 times 300. 8 times 300. Find the basic fact and you multiply. What's the basic fact?
8 times 3.
Good. 8 times 3 is what?
24.
24. Count the zeros, 1, 2, and place them close by. We have 2,400. Now we're going to do 8 times what? Not 5 yet. We have another digit here. 6, and it's 6 in the tens place, or 60, right? So 3 times
60.
Perfect. 3 times 60. Find the basic fact and you multiply. What's our basic fact?
8 times 6.
8 times 6. What is 8 times 6, everybody?
48.
48. Write it down. And we have 1 0. So let's put our 1 0 and then 48. Make sure you line them up with the ones. Okay, now we have 8 times what? 8 times 5. Good. And 8 times 5 is what, everybody?
40.
40. Make sure you line those up with the ones. Good. And now we just add them. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is what?
0.
8 plus 4 is what? 8 plus 4? 12. Good. Okay, 4 plus 4 is plus 1 is what?
9.
Good. Write it down. 2 plus nothing is 2. So your answer is 2,920 what? Hours. Okay, you have room on yours, so I'm just going to write mine right here. Hours are 2,920 hours. Okay, you've got this.